And so what happens in marriage is not that the bride joins the groom's family or the groom joins the bride's family. This is what I said when I officiated my daughter's wedding recently, that they are leaving their father and mother to create their own family. You are leaving your mother and father, and you're leaving with your fiance to start your own family. What that means is you're in that transition process as you head toward that marital covenant where you and your fiance, you got to sit down and say, okay, what do we want our family to be? What do we want our relationship with extended family and relatives to be? What are the boundaries that we need to put in place, maybe with friends or family that are not that godly or healthy? And then the two of you get to architect the life that you believe God is calling you to according to your convictions, so that you can also prioritize your time and energy during that first year of marriage to make sure that other people are not taking the best of your time and energy, so you can really focus on building that marital covenant together. I would strongly encourage, if the environment you are living in includes a father that you're estranged from, you may want to move out before you're married to start that separation, that leaving and cleaving process, and just to emotionally and spiritually get you out of a burdensome environment so you can be most healthy going into your wedding. And it may mean that you and your fiance say, we're going to live in this apartment or house, and you go set it up and live there alone, not moving in together, until you're married, or maybe there is a person in the church or family or friend that you could stay with for a season to just get a healthy environment and focus on your marital relationship heading into your wedding day. In addition, I would say your fiance sounds a little bit passive, and I'm reading a lot into this, and he needs to be becoming more assertive. If your father is still the dominant personality and you have a conflict with your dad and your fiance is trying to just be neutral and objective in the middle, you're moving toward the two of you becoming one, which means you need to stand together and agree together and proceed forward together. And that means that as he becomes head of household, he's going to need to have some very serious conversations with your dad. And you should be present. If you only send the fiance in to talk to dad, it's going to blow up. So the two of you need to agree, okay, here's our boundaries, here's our requests, these are the terms of engagement, this is what we are willing to allow and asking for. You either say yes or no to our terms. We are not negotiating them. We are leaving mother and father. We're establishing our own household. We're setting up our own pattern and precedent and future. And your fiance needs to be there with you, and he needs to do the majority of the talking. And the two of you probably need to sort of practice this and sketch out in writing what you're going to say in advance, because these moments can be very emotional. But then he needs to say, hey, we're getting married, and once we're married, this is how it's going to be. You can't cuss out my wife. You can't interrupt, her day to just drop a bomb on her head. You cannot raise your voice to her. And if so, there will be boundaries and consequences. And as the man who loves her, I will ensure that those boundaries are maintained. It is tragic if that has to be done with a father. It is tragic if it has to be done with a father. For a daughter, the safest person on the earth should be her dad. He should be her defender. He should be her protector. He should be her encourager. And if he's not, the husband needs to make sure that he steps in and doesn't allow that kind of unhealthy and or abusive behavior to continue into the future, because it will damage the marriage once children and grandchildren are added. If the father, now grandfather, has the pattern of saying and doing things that are harmful, I promise you this, it will happen to the grandkids as well, and it will just continue unless he is either required to change or to have a serious boundary where there is not contact, unless it is very rare and highly controlled.